I recently made a video where I reacted to a video that looked at why Germans don't buy houses. It was very interesting. I learned a lot from the video. I learned also a lot from the comments as well, so thank you to everybody who commented on that video. And one person asked me if I can make a reaction to this. Is German houses versus American houses, 10 major differences. So I'm really interested to see this. I really like to see comparisons between different countries and how things compare. If you know of one of these that compares Germany and the UK where I'm from, I'd be very interested. Please recommend that. But this one, as somebody from the UK, I'm really interested to see the difference between these two countries when it comes to their houses.
If you're an American and you're thinking about moving to Germany, I'm going to share with you 10 differences between German houses and American houses. What's up, everybody? I'm Steve Miguel, and you're watching XP Life Now. On this channel, I share with you new things that I learned and experienced as it pertains to travel and different cultures. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. There's a lot of differences between German houses and American houses, but this video won't be all inclusive. I'm just going to share with you 10 things that I feel are an important thing to know if you're considering moving to Germany. So the first major difference is actually not in the house at all. German houses are typically close together in a community. Since I've been here, I've never seen a house that was just off by itself. Compared to the US, it's very common for houses to be separated by a kilometer or so, especially in rural areas.
I guess
like
it's
in the
such
South.
a big land.
The second major difference.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. The US is obviously far larger by landmass, although Germany is quite a big country as well. But Germany, I would say, is more densely populated. Is that fair? Maybe not. But if I was to compare it to the UK, I think UK is probably more similar to Germany, where it's mostly just communities, a lot of tight-knit housing. I like that as well. It's nice to be close to your neighbours, although sometimes I guess it might be nice to get away and get some peace and quiet.
German houses tend to be built up. I've never seen a house that was only one floor. Typically, it's at least 2 floors. The house that I live in is actually 3 floors, versus in the US, it's very common to find houses that are only 1 floor.
I think that's common in UK as well.
Is the carport. For German houses, it's a common thing to have the carport separated from the house. Sometimes you'll have one like mine where it's just a cover. Other times you'll actually have one that you can close. Now this is different from the US, where the garage is usually a major piece of the house and it's actually attached to the house. It also serves as another point of entry into the house. And typically they're made to fit 1 or 2 cars. So the fourth major difference between...
Yeah, tell me more about that. The photograph, I didn't really understand the photograph there, where it was just, it looked like a separate house, this one, but yeah, what is a carport? Is it just like an extra, a garage that's separate from the house? Why would that be different to the US?
German houses and American houses are the doors. The only way to lock the doors in German houses are with the key. Another thing to note is that if you don't have your key when you go outside, you could potentially be locked out of the house, because as you can see, most doors don't have any kind of doorknob. So when you close it, it's shut and you have to have a key in order to open it.
Tell me if you've ever been locked out of your house in that way.
The fifth major difference between German houses and American houses is the heating. In my house and in most German houses, you have radiators to heat the house up. And what's cool about these things is they're all throughout the house in every single room, and you only heat the rooms that you are in. For example, I spend most of my time downstairs, so I almost never turn on the ones on the 2nd and 3rd floor, including the bedroom, because I like my bedroom cold. The sixth major difference.
Yeah, that one is similar to UK. In the UK we have radiators all over the house, but I think that they're centrally controlled. I don't think you can control them room by room or floor by floor. Obviously now I live in Malaysia, there's definitely no need for that because it's 32 degrees every day of the year. It's very humid. We have fans and aircon here, which is a little bit different as well. But yeah, I kind of miss that sometimes. I miss the cold weather in the UK and going home to a nice warm house where you're got the radiator on, very warm, and it's nice and cozy.
German houses and American houses are the refrigerators. In most German homes, your fridge won't actually look like a fridge, but will look like a ordinary cabinet.
Cupboard?
It does not have a freezer, which is something that I think is pretty standard. I've been in quite a few German homes and I have yet to see a freezer.
Wait, what? You don't have a...
Typically, all refrigerators within American houses will also be a freezer. The seventh...
They don't have freezers in Germany? I mean, in a way it's kind of good because it would encourage you to just eat fresh, maybe healthier food, and rather than keep a lot of food in the freezer that has a lot of preservatives and unhealthy things. So maybe that leads to a healthier lifestyle. But what about having like ice or ice creams and things like that? Then that just wouldn't be possible. Surely is that common that people don't have freezers in Germany?
Major difference between German houses and American houses is that German houses don't have closets. So most of the time you have to buy something like a wardrobe in order to store your clothes. In American houses, every single bedroom will have a closet for you to put your clothes in. So the eighth major difference between...
Okay, that I can agree with. Yeah, we don't really have those built-in closets in the UK, but we buy that separate wardrobe. Here in Malaysia it's built-in, but I think it really depends. It varies between houses.
And American houses are the windows. The first thing I want to point out about the windows are the rollatins. Rollatins are these metal or plastic shutters that you can let either up or down, depending on what you want to do. The second thing I want to point out about the windows is that there are two different ways that you can open them. If you don't want to open the window all the way up so that you don't have to deal with bugs and potentially birds flying in, all you have to do is turn the knob all the way up and the window comes down to about this point. Even with it like this, I can already start to feel the cool air start to come into the room. But if you want to completely air out the room, the window actually comes all the way open. And
yeah, that's the same as the windows I had in the UK when I lived there.
Turn the knob to the side.
Yeah, exactly the same
window
actually.
Opens all the way.
I'm very intrigued by this pulley system, but to drop that shutter, I would have imagined this would have been motorized or electric, where maybe you could like press a button, it just comes down automatically. But the thing I like about that is it's almost like having the perfect blackout curtains. I can imagine they just don't let any light in, so you could actually get an amazing sleep with them.
To lock it,
those shutters.
just turn it down. Now there's no standard window for American homes, but one of the things that really comes in handy that you find in the US but won't find in Germany are screens. Typically in America, windows will come with screens in order to keep the bugs out.
Yeah, I guess for like mosquitoes and
the
stuff.
The ninth major difference between German houses and American houses are the ceilings. Looking at German houses from the outside, they tend to have very steep chimneys.
Steep chimneys?
They tend to have very steep chimneys. And you actually see that when you go into the house. So you definitely want to take this into consideration when you think about the different types of furniture.
Yeah, I don't think I've been in a house like that before actually. That's quite interesting.
The last
Does that waste a lot of space?
German houses and American houses are the bathrooms. Specifically the toilet and the tubs. A couple things I want to point out about the toilet. If you'll notice, it does not have a back tank to it that is visible.
Yeah, that's true. I never even noticed that. It's just, is this normal, this type of toilet, or do you have the one with the cistern at the back of it?
Also, it doesn't go into the floor. And typically what you'll find in American houses is the toilet will be mounted onto the floor, and it'll have a water tank in the back.
Yeah, I've never seen one without one actually.
Is that German toilets don't have a lot of water in the bowl. The hole is typically far in the, like way in the back, and you have like all this flat space in the toilet. So you have to do a really good job aiming, or you're gonna have to use the brush to clean it.
I don't know why I've never considered that. I've always been used to the water being this low, and I don't think I've had too many problems aiming it properly. Maybe it's just I've got good aim when it comes to that sort of thing. But is he saying that in America it's deeper, the water? Then would that not be splashing water all up on your butt?
Also, with German toilets, they do a really good job flushing compared to American toilets. The toilets in America, when you flush them, unless you're in a public restroom, when you flush them, they tend to do, they do this swirl. The water comes in and it does this swirling motion to drain out. But with German toilets, when you flush it, it just does that.
I never thought I'd learn so much
Never had
about
a
German
problem with
toilets.
anything, not going down in German toilets. As I said, the tubs.
That was the
are
longest
different
section
as
about
well.
a toilet.
They tend to have these shower nozzles attached to them, but as you can see, there is no shower curtain or anything to stop the water from getting onto the floor.
Yeah, that's true.
That is because the shower is actually.
Oh, you have
over
a
here.
separate shower?
Question of the day. What are some things that you liked about German houses that you would like to incorporate into your own? I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Yeah, like I think it's all, for me actually, a lot of that is very similar to the UK. As I mentioned, I think like when I'm looking at these comparison videos between Germany and the USA, I feel like Germany is obviously a lot closer to how we live in the UK, especially when it comes to the houses. A lot of that is kind of normal when it comes to British houses as well. So tell me what you think about those differences. How does that compare? Is all of that true? But yeah, very interesting video. Tell me what you think about this one and recommend some other videos. Thanks.